What's the hap? Here is Zach with another long overdue record review. What do you call it? I don't know. I never call this anything. I never put a title, never put a label, I never put a name. Here I am, not even ahead of the game, but it'd be like that sometimes when you're just off celebrating a wonderful time of Christmas and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving long, it's one of those things, one of those holidays that gets overlooked in my opinion. Or maybe I'm just talking out of my ass. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year's coming back. Enough dawdling around, enough, wallowing around in this ramble. Here I go again with one of these albums that I received on the Christmas day that was wonderful. It was one of those things where I couldn't be more grateful of of loving music and loving and having a loving family, specifically my brother who brought me this album. um let's get right into it. He got me an REM record, Reckoning, their sophomore LP. Great album. you know they got songs on here. It starts off with Harbor Coat. With a song like that, you start off with Harbor Coat. You already know you have a great album on your hands. You're gonna kick off with a banger like that. You're gonna get people moving on their feet right off the bat. That's how I felt when I first heard this album the first time on Apple Music. It was one of those things where I couldn't. I always like dismiss REM because of my father. He was always a big fan, and I always just didn't understand it until I listened to more of them at a later time. College rock, college. What can you say? What can I say? It's a great album. It's a great song that they start off with, um, and it keeps on even getting better with songs like Chinese Brothers, Seven Chinese Brothers. It's got a great, Rockville's a great anthem. If you haven't heard of it, you probably don't know you've even heard of it, just because it has that melodic anthem, that pep in it, and it's one of those things that you can dismiss. um Songs like even Pretty Persuasion, it gets in, it really gets going. REM is one of the bands that are just, their harmonies and their melodies really kicks you with so much excitement, and that you cannot be, it just leaves you dancing. And then you got albums like songs like Camera. And Camera is a very, I guess you could say, very cryptic song. But what is an REM song if it's not cryptic? They're always pretty cryptic, especially with his mumbling. Michael Stipe is a mumbler, but that just makes his lyrics more interesting because you don't really know what he's saying. And Camera's one of those songs, where he has some lyrics and then that needs to be looked at more. Same thing with Little America. This last song off the album. Last song off the album was a great just a closer. It's very upbeat, very peppy. Why am I saying peppy so much? But it has like that very Django tone by Peter Buck. You couldn't ask for more, and it's also got, once again, very interesting choruses. That's another thing that REM likes to dabble with. Interesting ways of singing choruses and coming up with choruses. You have to listen to it to really get what I'm talking about. I got REM, yes, but more as more of as a continuation. I also got this, once again, an REM record on my own time before Christmas because I couldn't help it. It was there for the taking. This is REM's first debut LP. This is not their first debut album technically, because Chronic Town was their first EP. Chronic Town, once again, a very enigmatic album, but I'm not holding up that album right now, so we should just leave that. We just spare that album for another day when I do actually purchase it, if ever. Murmur, you can see from the cover, it's got a very murky vibe. It seems very He just seems enigmatic, and something about it. It's like you have to like really go through these weeds or moss to really tinker with the music. And that's what it's all about, the murky production, the haziness of the production. um Gravitate you, it makes you gravitate to the songs. And once again, the harmonies that are provided, and once again the lyrics, and once again the bassist Mike Mills with his bass lines, and Peter Buck with his jangleness, and Bill Berry with his necessity to stay on beat but also thrive on the beat. It's not just him being so strict and such a strict interpreter. So songs like, it starts off with Radio Free Europe. It was such a banger of a song. You can't go wrong with a song. If you could start an album with that, especially your first LP, you are doing wonders for yourself. You can, the sky's the limit. As you know, REM is most likely the biggest band of the world. But the early years are not talked about enough, or maybe they're talked about too little. Or maybe they are talked enough about, but I just don't put myself in the circles that are being talked. But once again, songs like Radio Free Europe, Laughing, I love that song so much. It's got a great, very like cryptic, once again, cryptic, very fragmented like lyrics talking about social, like being social in your social surroundings or such, whatnot. You also got songs like Catapult, once again. It talks about like there's like a theme of innocence or nostalgia of being little. There's also songs like Perfect Circle, very beautiful ballad. I think it's created by Bill Berry. Beautiful ballad that created by the drummer. It's wonderful. And we also got more songs like talk about the passion, and talking about interesting choruses. Moral Kiosk. It has a damn interesting chorus. Very like, how can I say it? Very like they're kind of like chanting like this, like it's like a foreign chant in a way. Maybe I'm just talking too much of it, like making it seem like it's a foreign chant, but to me it has that foreign chant aspect, like hollering, and it's just such a interesting thought, like innovative way of creating a chorus that's not so like conventional. And that's what REM is. They know how to like dabble in the conventions of songwriting, but also explore and be innovative in the conventions of songwriting, and with the structure of verse, chorus, verse, and bridge, and all that. That's what makes REM great in my opinion. And you got the last song, West of the Fields, that's really once again has another interesting way of writing choruses. You already seen the pattern here. I'm repeating myself. These two albums, if you don't have them, you must get. If you never listened to them, you need to. You should. Apple Music, Spotify, everything is at the. So every music is at your fingertips. All you gotta do is just press go, and then you see yourself enjoying or not. And that's just what I'm here for. I'm just telling you what I enjoy, and if you want to enjoy it with me, then so be it. Good for you. That concludes my presentation of these albums. So hopefully you guys have a great New Year's.